Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel in 2023, yes. And new content is in the works. Currently working, or this time I'm working on a few set pieces. Basically it's a clothing set made of a cowl, and not sure, I called it shawl, but I'm not sure if it is actually one. Yeah, so you can see the difference is that I'm not using the base clothing again, but instead I'm working from scratch again. Base is a tube that I basically first flattened to have a two-dimensional space that I now am currently wrapping around the top of the character. And yeah, basically this is two times the same thing. I did the same for the skirt-like thing on the hips later on. So the main interesting thing is actually the folds that I created as well. So you can see that I'm adding a few lines with the connect tool in between, because with just 8 iterations, or with just 8 sets of faces, this isn't nearly enough. So smoothing down the whole thing, so after smoothing down the whole thing, I had to accommodate for the body again, and then I added the first of the folds. So these actually, I tried a few things. I tried to extrude a line and then go from that, but in the end the easiest way I could see making this is by extruding a few faces, welding the edge of these extruded faces back into the original body, or in the original model, and then just editing the extruded parts quite a bit. I also did this for the back because at this point I wasn't sure how I wanted to make the final pose for this. So I basically just made the whole thing so I can also use this later, because this is actually the set that I want to do the monthly animation with on Tuesday. So remember, Tuesday is the live stream where I will do animation in Des Studio, and I want to animate basically the render that I did with this. So final render at the end as usual, and this is also the render that I want to use as a basis for the animation. So it's gonna be some kind of dance animation, I think. As you can see, I'm working on the UV map as well. I wanted to have a clean UV map for this, and in case I for the case that I work that I want to do a more detailed top and hip piece. So while I didn't work on most of the UV maps for this, the UV map for the hip wrap and the cowl are rather detailed, rather optimized, so I can actually use this. I actually did 2 takes on the hip piece. Of this is the second take. I didn't I recorded the first take, but I cut it out because the video would have just been so much longer. Basically, for the first time, I tried to first put the whole skirt on the body before I divided it into a smaller part and a bigger part. So basically on the right side of the model, on our left side, the shawl is a bit wider, and on the other side, so our right, but the person's left, that is a bit shorter. So I wanted to work with a bit of asymmetry here, which is why which is why I basically did 2 takes, because the first take was too symmetrical, and I just wouldn't have a smooth transition to a easy transition to a asymmetrical piece. Yeah. And you can see that I'm jumping quite around a bit, like starting on the left and on the right. This is due to the fact that I can't use symmetry here for obvious reasons. So this is one of the pieces where I actually have to touch almost every piece of the whole clothing so that it fits to the body, and usually I try to work with the symmetry piece as well. So for those who jumped to the end, or to those who checked on the beginning, this is not just the skirt, but there's also like the whole leg piece for the model's left leg, and I actually, which isn't shown in the video, but I actually imported like a simple undergarment for the female, so a slip, and worked with this, which was the easier thing. Yeah. You can see again that I'm welding the sides of this back into the model before I set the whole folds apart. And I mean, I could have just wrapped the shortened side of this much more, but this didn't occur to me at the point. Yeah, so this is basically just a really simple way to create folds in fabric if you want to model them, because I thought about it. I mean, it could also try to make a bump nip, but this was way easier. So at this point the slip is imported. I removed the symmetry here, and I'm working on just one leg, as you can see. First extrusion to pull it on the leg actually, and yeah, working the whole thing a bit in the details so that it actually fits, before I further extrude the whole thing. And then I already cut out the leg part because I wanted to use the welding tool to make the gap on the inside of the leg just this much bigger. The rest is relatively easy. You can see that this ends rather abruptly, and there's not really much of detail here, or not really much work, because I simply pulled another tube, fitted loosely around the ankle here, and then used the thickening tool to just yeah, have like a 3-dimensional shape. Yeah, going for a bit more detail and for the usual edges that I need, and this is about the whole thing. So last thing I did was to work the second UV map as well. I mean, the other UV maps are also done, and you can see in the final render that there's like a small piece on the side, or you will definitely see on Tuesday if you tune in. So I added a few details afterwards, which I didn't record. But yeah, this was basically, so the details are basically just adding a few lines, then thickening those to actual 3-dimensional objects, and adding a bit of an end for this, so I have like a small detail that I might further improve on or not. I mean, I still have the dress, so the last few models to check up again and to touch again, which I will probably do next week in a video. I'm not 100% sure, but looks very likely, because I'm done with the project. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and the render, and I will hopefully see you guys next week on Tuesday. If not, then stay healthy, stay safe, and see you guys around.